Good morning to all the participants. Welcome to the fourth day, session 1 of STTP phase 2, sponsored by AICTE, New Delhi. With the kind consent of the convener, we are starting our today's session, and we have Dr. Ravikumar Patil H.S. as our resource person for this session. Dr. Ravikumar Patil is a professor and chairman of Department of Food Technology in Davangere University. Sir holds a PhD in Environmental Sciences from Coimbatore University, Shimoga, and he has a very strong academic and research track record. He started off his career as a selection grade lecturer and has served as professor at GMIT Davangere and also as professor in Arogyadhama Paramedical College, Bhadravati. His area of specialization and research interest includes environmental microbiology, food microbiology, industrial microbiology, agricultural biotechnology, and food technology. Sir also holds academic as well as administrative responsibilities. He has been an active BOS and BOE member of microbiology at Coimbatore University and BOS and BOE member of biotechnology under VTU, Belgaum. He has also headed various departments like Department of Microbiology in SRNM College, head of the Department of Biotechnology in GMIT, and as professor in Arogyadhama Paramedical College. He was awarded a project grant of 15 lakh during the period of 2009 to 2012 from DRDO New Delhi for the project titled Design and Analysis of Microbial Fuel Cells for Sustainability. Sir holds quite a few research publications in peer-reviewed journals of national and international repute, and he is also credited for having published 2 books and chapters in Textbook of Human Physiology and Microbiology from IK International Publishers as well as New Delhi Publishers, New Delhi and Kolkata. Sir, on behalf of the Department of Biotechnology, we deem it a pleasure in having you here as our resource person, sir. Thank you for accepting our invite and being our resource person for this session. Sir, welcome to our department. And the session is over to you, sir, to start. So could you switch on your video, sir?
Dr. Patil, can you hear us? Dr. Patil, can you hear us?
Work to stop further spread of COVID.
Sir, you're on mute, sir. Can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, but your screen is not shared. Can you share your presentation, sir?
I hope ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. You can start, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. My dear friends, I'm going to tell something about National Policy 2020. Here, vision of the National Education Policy 2020. So in this case, we have to think of main 3 points. One is education system. So it should contribute and enhance the knowledge, vibrant knowledge for the society, and providing high quality education to all, not a single person or a single man or a single society itself. It is to all. It's the first thing. Second thing is deep sense respect towards the fundamental rights, duties, and constitutional values. Uphold the constitutional values, to know about the fundamental rights and duties. These are the things. It gives awareness and it responsibilities and changing the world. That is the second point itself. Third point is skills, values, and support responsible commitment of human rights, sustainable development, living global well-being. They reflect truly global citizen. These are the major 3 points under policy 2020. Next, key principles of NEP, National Education Policy, or you can call it as a new education policy itself. Respect for diversity and local context. So respect the diversity in a curriculum, pedagogy, and policy. Here, diversity, local context, local ethics, and everything comes under a first point itself. Next, equity, inclusion, the cornerstones of all educational decisions, and community participation, the all encouragement for all, provide community participation and everything. Next, use of technology to getting the information and learning sake, and remove the language barriers. So we have to adapt technology for that. Next is emphasize conceptual understanding. Here we are, rather than rote learning and learning for exams. So far, everyone is thinking of passing, getting marks, and pass the examination. But grassroots, we have to go deeper and deeper and get the more and more information. And unique capabilities, recognizing, identifying, and each student. So in a mass, in 30 numbers is there. So we have to give importance and recognize each one. So that is the main thing. And critical thinking and creativity, they encourage the logical decision making, innovation, and we have to give platform for the students. They are critical thinking, in what way they are thinking and how they are creative. So we have to identify the things from the students itself. Next is continuous review. Continuous review itself indicates that continuously we are going to evaluate, review. So it enhances the education of that student itself. Next, here you can observe the footprint itself. Universal access to early childhood care and education, ECCE. So here itself, fundamental learning curriculum. So at the age of 3 to 8, divided into two parts, from age 3 to 6, ECCE, and age 6 to 8 for first and second primary school itself. This is fundamental learning. Next is preparatory class. First is base, next is preparatory class. Prior to age of 5, every child will move with preparatory class or Bal Vitaka, that before the class 1 itself. Next, universal assess. The children 3 to 5 years assess to free, safe, high quality at Anganwadi, preschools, and others. Next is multi-faceted, flexible, multi-level play-based, activity-based, inquiry-based learning itself. So ensuring universal access to education at all levels. The heading itself ensures universal access to education at all levels, not only a single. The learning outcomes, building schools, multiple pathways, bring back dropouts, alternative centers, peer tutorials. So, one by one basic in the next towards higher end, we go one by one, and we have to, in all levels, we have to give assess for the students to get more and more knowledge. Next is expected outcomes. What we expected: universalization of access from ECCE to secondary. What are the things? Next, ensure quality and inclusion. Next, bring back 2 crores out of school children. Every year, what happens? More than 2 crores of the students are out of the learning, schooling, because due to the economic or the hunger or something. So we have to bring the students, and for learning sake, we have to put in a school itself. So that is the main barrier, and we have to come over that. Those students should be bring to the learning sake, and attain the STG goals, retaining all children in schools until completion of secondary education itself. Improve quality and achievement of learning outcomes, foundation, literacy, and numeracy. Next, focus on 21st century skills in teaching, learning, and assessment. In 21st century itself, we have to concentrate on teaching, how to teach and how to attract and how to convince the students and how to motivate the students, and in what way they can learn, and what way we are giving assignments and get back the feedback from the students. And resource sharing school complexes. Resource sharing means knowledge bank itself. The teacher or school or a library itself, it is a knowledge bank. So that knowledge bank should be shared with the students and put the knowledge for the young minds or learning minds. Next is effective governance, separation of power and common norms. The students should know the power. Actually, the students doesn't know about the power or their ability. So we have to find out the ability of the students. According to his wish, we have to promote the things and overcome the language barrier in learning. So here, so many languages. A mother tongue is different. A communication language is different. So many learning, communication, and so many things are there in a language. So the mother language and communicable language, and so many things are there. where some hurdles are there, we have to come over from that one, and we have to give a path to the students for learning sake. And suppose from the childhood itself, they might have get learning of Hindi or English language. So those language should be in proper, have to teach proper way itself. And common standards, public and private school education. Here nowadays, the common, I mean, public school and private school, government school and private school, those are so many differences are there. We have to solve the things. Next is transforming curricular and pedagogical structure itself. Here, three systems. One is fundamental stage 5, multi-level activity based learning at the base itself. Here, the foundational base is foundational, next is preparatory, next is middle, and fourth one is secondary. In existing academic structures, 10 years 6 to 16 and 2 years 16 to 18. Here in this case, what are the things? Fundamental stage, multi-levels, 5 multi-levels itself, play, activity based learning. Here in a younger age itself, we know very well about Nodi, Kili, Madi, Kali. So these things, fundamental, play, allow to play, allow to give some activity. On this base, they have to learn the things. Next, preparatory stage 3, the play, discovery, and activity based and interactive classroom learning. Here, the same multi-level as in foundation level. Later, the interactive classes from the classroom learning starts. Next, middle stage, experimental learning in the science, mathematics, arts, social science, and humanities. Next is secondary stage 4, that is multidisciplinary study, greater critical thinking, flexibility, and student choice of subjects. Here, those may get are art, arts, commerce, science, social science, etc., etc., and channelize the things what they required. So according to their wish, we have to give. So then, in this case, new pedagogical and curriculum structure of school education, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, 3 years in Anganwadi preschooling and 12 years in school, other things. So ECCE framework. So NCP, FECE, National Curricular and Pedagogical Framework for Early Childhood Education will be drafted by NCERT. NCERT is drafted for the curriculum for childhood education. Next, research and best practices. The same NCERT produces a national and international best practices for the next level students, and multi-faced framework itself. Here also comprising the alphabets, languages, numbers, countering colors, shapes, indoor, outdoor, puzzles, and so on. So attract the color and give the puzzles. Later on, outdoor play, indoor play, those things plays a role in their what you call learning capacity or ability is increases. Next, school preparation module from 3-month play-based school preparation module for grade 1 students to be developed one. That is also fine in CERT itself. So here you can observe the brain in right and left itself. Here in this case, starting from colors, shapes, alphabets, and numbers, the early age itself, the just like your computer itself, anything you put in a computer, you can load anything. It is very easily digested or easily memorized, easily stored. Similarly, next step itself, relationship with the nature. Who am I? What is the nature? What is forest? What is tree? What is plant? What is other things? They have to start with the relationship, how to react, how to involve in that case. So relationship with the nature. Next is allow to art, crafts, and music. Involving the art, involving the crafts, and listening the music, or produce the music itself. Next, logical thinking and problem solving. Here, in this case, logical thinking. How, in what way I can do. So, critical thinking is a very important thing. And what are the questions are arised at the mind itself, and allowed to solve himself or herself. So that type of incision is required, that is also there. And development, curiosity, why it is so, how it is so, how it is so. So that development of curiosity, yes. Here, next is teamwork and collaboration to achievement's sake. So instead of one, instead of I, instead of we. So it is a group thing, group work or a teamwork and collaboration to achieve the goal itself. Whatever you give the things for any problem, so in a team, they have to collectively identify the solution and give the uh, total solution itself. Next is play-based discovery and based learning. Yes, of course. Next is ethics. What is ethics? Why and how? What is my ethic? What is his ethic? So ethics is also very important. That is also learned ethically. Next is self-identify. Am I able to? Yes, I can. So that is identification, self-identity. So that is also there. And equate behavior and emotional development. Suppose there is an old man who is crossing the road, but that fellow is unable to cross the road at the time. Being a young or a child itself, they know the things. The old age person or older person, how to treat those things and everything itself. Next, attainment of fundamental literacy and numeracy by grade 3 in mission mode itself. Here, fundamental skills. Here you can observe the things, light and how it moves, and books, pen, next target, and vision, and so many things. Here, fundamental skills, national mission, book promotion, early learning, 3 months play-based school, libraries, national responsibilities. The government itself starts with Diksha. Don't get confused with other Diksha. Here, the government itself establishes sources of getting the information, Diksha. So many things. These are the things from this. We can get more and more information. Next, here you can observe the train and the bogies itself. So, experimental learning, yes, fun, creative, collaborative, and explorational, exploratory activities, classroom and experimental learning, deeper student learning, and core essentials, critical thinking, interactive classes. From this, we are observe the things how the core essentials are involved: critical thinking, where inquiry, discovery, decision, analysis. So many things are holistic education under critical thinking. Interactive classes, interactive teaching, interactive teaching with reduced dependency on textbook learning. So instead, of course, the book is also very, very important thing. Before going to study the book, so teachers should give a proper guidelines and promote to get the information from so many resources. Among book is one of them, and experimental learning, fun, creative, collaborative, and experimental activities, and so on. Focus on LOs, learning outcomes, competencies, and subject integration. Hello, competency-based education, integration of subjects, development of scientific temper. Next, no silos among subject learning, emphasis on digital literacy, promotion of multilingual teaching, mental and physical health well-being. Here, mandatory for the students for acquired skills, health and nutrition, physical education, fitness, wellness, and sports. Continuously, we have to check the health of the students. Annual health checkup for all students and reduced weight of school bags. Of course, nowadays, the weight of the bag and books are more. So, in this curriculum, it reduces the school bag weightage itself. Mandatory skills, that is health and wellness, maintain the health and fitness for education, getting the mental health and everything for that mandatory skills, health and wellness are required. And hiring counselors in school complexes, even colleges, or it may be in schools. So counselors should uh, what you call, the government will be encouraged to hire adequate number of counselors and teachers, assess the school students' mental health or anything is associated with the students. They have to give solution for that and focus on children with the disability. So, in previous first slide itself, explained that it is for not a single person, it is to all. It is to all means from different, from basic student means a poor to wealthy. So even we should not leave the disabled persons, not disabled persons, challenged persons. Now it has been changed to, instead of disabled persons, we call it as a challenged persons. So we have to give infrastructure for just like a ramp itself and giving a chair or something, everything should be given for a lost person, so that challenged person is also get education in this case itself. And inclusive and caring culture at school, yes, it is a role and expectation of principal and teachers will uh, explanatory and include the developing caring and inclusive culture at the school itself. Innovative pedagogy, transforming teaching learning process. Here, promotion, peer tutoring, integrated pedagogy, experimental learning, equal weightage, bagless days, use, integration of technology. So during this case, what you call, yeah, even in a 7 days itself, Sunday is exclusive for holiday itself. So in a 6 days itself, apart from the Sunday, all the Monday to Saturday, the students bring the bags and books itself. One day itself, bagless. Just bring a food, fruits or a food for the class where only interactive classes. That is also very important. These things are innovative one. Textbook with local content and flavor. So what is this thing? Local content and flavor? Yes, of course. So in this case, malnutrition and non-malnutrition and food habit in both cases are different, and so many differences are there. So we have to give importance for locally available. So, and that all in this case, you see the things, all textbooks contain only essential core material while capturing any desired nuances and supplementary materials as per local contents and needs. Yes, of course, locally what required according to their needs we have to give, and affordable, high quality and energized textbooks to be provided along with the free digital version of Diksha platform. As I mentioned earlier, Diksha is government platform getting the free digital versions and everything. Similarly, concentrate efforts through suitable changes in curriculum and pedagogy has significantly reduced the weight of the school bags and textbooks itself. So, what main things that we should concentrate on main points, and that point should be learned by the student and attracted by the students in color wise or structure wise or anything. That's the main thing. And state to prepare their own curricula, the textbooks based NCERT curriculum, they start, they prepare state-wise and flavor and material as needed according to locally. Next, India's future and India's leadership role in upcoming fields. Computational thinking, mathematical thinking and problem solving, and computational thinking, and including contemporary subjects in school itself. Mathematical thinking itself, we know very well about the so many uh, indoor games itself. Indoor games, numbers, and how to move from one place to another place. Each Chavanga or anything other things, we are using pagade or something for example. So number is there. Through number, we have to move the pawn itself. Similarly, mathematical thinking and problem solving. So next, computational thinking. Every day, competition or computing. This computing itself, we go through the computer itself. Computer knowledge is very essential, and we have to give importance to learn the computer itself. And uh, computational thinking, where in a activities involved in coding will be instructed or introduced in a middle stage itself. So it helps to the students get more knowledge itself, and including contemporary subjects in school itself. Next, knowledge of India. Yes, sir. Video documentation, inspirational, and science and behind. And students will give logical framework, making either decisions in a young age itself. So ethical decision at a young age itself. In a younger age itself, they know the ethical food, ethical areas, ethical plants, so many things. The students know what we are, what is our food, what is ethical food. Of course, nowadays everyone is adapted for 2 minutes noodle itself, not like that. So ethical, what prepared at home traditionally. That's the thing. Thinking in that way and know the things. Next, excerpts from the Indian Constitution will also be considered essential reading for all the students. Basic training in health, mental health, and good nutrition and hygiene and other things also included. And accurate and scientific manner. So incorporation of accurate and scientific manner and tribal knowledge, indigenous traditional ways of learning, those things are also very, very important. So curriculum including knowledge and scientific explanation for the things. Next, examination in grade 1 to 8. So here, achievement in critical learning outcomes. The testing of focus on achievement and essential learning outcomes and key stage assessment, census assignment at key stage in classes 3, 5, and 8 to track achievement. So continuously we have to assess the students. What is his direction? Who attracted by which area? What is his goal? And everything we have to assess regularly, step by step itself. And results of school examinations. The result of school examination will be used only the development purpose for continuous monitoring and implementation of the schooling system itself. Yes, of course, and moving away from the rote learning. So, assessment of core concepts and knowledge, higher order skills, and applications of real life situation, moving away from the rote learning. Reforming examination in grade 9 to 12, including board examination. So here we have to board examination and at the same time NCERT syllabus and so many assessments are going on. So according to their wish and each and thoughts, we have to give according to their wish. Next, transforming the culture of the assessment, continuous tracking of learning outcomes. Each child, each child is unique. Each child having its own ability in thinking, in creativity, and so on. So we have to encourage. If they fail in learning, we have to give extra weightage, extra support, and so on. And board examination to be more flexible with assessment of essential skills. The board examination more flexible. So in this case, some of them are failed due to so many so many things. So in essential skills also adapted and assessment and focus on core concepts and higher order of a foundation skills, all based software. The softwares are occupied and they have given the solutions and their choices. A national assessment center itself, it helps to assess in a boards and board assessments and self-assessment and peer assessments. That is also very important thing. Self-assessment, where my how to achieve and so many things we can assessment is helpful for next step itself. And the national testing agency NTA is also there. That is also very important to conduct the experiment aptitude test and so many other examinations. Next, holistic progress card itself states and along the 360-degree itself, multi-dimensional report itself, not only IQ, IQ base, IQ intelligence quotient, not only emotional quotient, so many quotients are there. we have to assess in a different way. That to 360-degree itself, it helps to give a channelize for the student for his or her uh, direction itself. And progress card will include self-assessment, peer assessment, and a teacher assessment. It includes what self-assessment and peer assessment and teacher assessment. All the three assessments helpful for his future things. Next, card or reflect the progress and uniqueness, the socio-emotional and psychomotor domains itself. Next, progress, objective based, inquiry based, and holistic progress card activity and all based software development helps to track the growth, and it will helps to the students uh, multilinguistics and the power of the language learning itself. Here, mother tongue is here in Karnataka, Kannada. Apart from the Kannada, you can learn Hindi or Telugu or Marathi or anything. It helps to move from one place to another place itself. Here, the medium instruction up to grade 5 and preferably till grade 8 and beyond will be home language, other mother tongue or local language itself. Mother language, other mother tongue itself. Yours is Kannada, yes, you go through the Kannada itself. Suppose Telugu, you go through the Telugu itself. So, in a language, in mother tongue itself, we can swallow, we can taste it in all respects. We can observe the flavor of the things that to mother tongue itself. So, they have given the base or a choice that is a mother language. Next is language of India. Functional project activities say are every student should learn the other languages. Three languages to be taught will be decided by state or undertaken itself. So all classical languages will be widely available in school as options. School complexes and clusters. Balabhavan, yes, for first learning, and Samajik Chetana Kendras and sharing resources, efficiency, planning, governance, integration, pairing schools. Standard setting and accreditation. What it is? Setting up state school standards authorities, self disclosure of all the basic regulatory information schools level, and ensure the schools flow certain minimal professional and quality standards. So here itself, professional and quality standards we have to provide according to their wish. Minimum standards, minimum qualities we have to teach, we have to taught the students itself. And development of school quality assessment and accreditation. Yes, NCRT and SCRT. In a, we know very well about our higher education. So what you call knack is there. Say similarly, other qualities in ISO standards are also there. The certifications are also there. According to certification, we can think, oh yes, this institute is certified by so and so ISO 9001 or NAC accredited by A or A plus or so on. Similarly, NBA accreditation for engineering colleges or NBA accredited. So similarly, accreditation is required. According to the accreditation, your college or a school's level will be updated or uplifted, and at the same time teachers is also updated regularly. Next, teacher education. Here 4-year integrated B.Ed, 2-year B.Ed, 1-year B.Ed itself. Minimum degree qualification for teaching that include the student teaching local schools by 2030, 4 years B.Ed itself. Integrated one, 2 years B.Ed for applicants with an existing bachelor's degree in other specialized subjects. Now, nowadays, 2 years B.Ed is going on. In the previous days, 1 year actually. So later it has been changed to 2 year itself. So similarly here also, the improving teacher education. So here itself, what it is, all teacher education programs to be conducted within composite multidisciplinary institutions. New comprehensive national curriculum framework for teachers by 2021. Similarly, one by one itself, merit-based school scholarships for 4 years B.Ed integrated. One, setting up of national mission for mentoring with a large pool of outstanding seniors, National Higher Education Regulatory Council to functioning the single point regulation, so on. Teacher recruitment and development, empowering the teachers, school leadership. It is a very important thing. Necessary facilities for the initial professional preparation for these educators, their continuous professional development. Not only for the students, for a professional, we have to give more and more information for the uh, faculty members. Next, CPD opportunities will be particular systematically cover the latest pedagogy and at least 50 hours of CPD for the teachers based on their own interest and professional areas. Ample opportunity to get upscaled and latest pedagogy related to fundamental literacy and individuals learning and related pedagogies. Focus on socio-economically disadvantaged groups. Here, gender identities, what it is, particularly female and transgender individuals. We have to give importance female education, of course. Nowadays, for female, uh, without fee, zero fee has given for higher education up to higher education itself, and at the same time, transgender or third gender itself, we have to give importance because they're also like us, but only some differences. But we should accept as it is. So we have to give the importance for that. And socio-culture identities such as scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, OBCs, and minorities. We have to give importance for those also without hesitation. We have to give, we have to remove the barriers of a caste-based one and geographical identities. The students from villages and small towns and aspiration districts itself. Of course, the students from the villages are lacking behind in language or communication itself, but they are learners, very good learners, of course. At the same time, we have to give a platform to get more and more information, and we have to push the students in that regarding in that thing itself. And disabilities. So learning disabilities, it may be due to IQ or it may be challenged person itself. So the challenged persons is also moving, so we have to give importance and socio-economic, no bar, no income based itself, all are one. We have to give opportunity to all. Okay. Next, ensuring equity. So in equity, here learning outcomes, special mechanism, interventions, SCJets, and free waivers, counselors, and additional schools. Here, the ensures the equity by all these things itself, and gender itself. The strengthens the safety and rights, gender inclusion we find, and bringing gender gap and policies integrated for girls. So, in a gender itself, there is no male or female, all are same, all are one. The supporting children with special needs. Yes, of course, supporting child with special needs, of course, disabilities or what we call challenged babies, we have to give. Next, regular schools. So we have to, along with the regular schools, the students should be given opportunity to learn along with the others also, and at the same time we have give more importance and more attention to these students and modules. So we have to prepare some modules for the challenged students and certificate courses and this is also very important certificate courses for pre-service and in-service teachers to become special educators. Of course, the things and enabling mechanism for the quality education and assistive assistive devices and orientation in parents, technology based announced, of course, and tools and devices, and it helps for the parents as well as the students itself. And alternative schools, alternative forms of schools will be encouraging the preserve and alternative pedagogy styles itself. Yes, of course, in some challenged students, very poor in learning, at that time we have to give separate schools itself. Integrated vocational education all levels and setting up of Prakash. What is Prakash? That is Prakash is performance, assessment, review, and analysis of knowledge for holistic development. That is, shortly we call it as Prakash. Prakash. Paraksh. Okay. So in this case, assessment and 21st century skills. Assessment based compulsory continuously. Okay, that is there, and we have to promote the critical and creative thinking that is meant for 21st century classroom itself. Objectives of Parak as setting norm standards and guidelines for assessment and evaluation. Every time assessment, in what way we have to assess the students and evaluation methodology and importance. So that guidelines will be set by Parag. Next, guidelines for state Achieve survey SAS itself. That is also given by Parag itself and conducting national achievement survey that is NAS itself. That is also by Parag and minority and achievement of learning outcomes in the country itself. Monitoring, continuous monitoring there. And what is the learning outcomes from each schools or colleges and everything that is also assessed by Parag itself. Next, support for gifted students, students with special talents. Here, encouraged gift talent students pursue behind the general schools curriculum. Next, project-based clubs to be encouraged the support and supported all levels in schools. So, thinking in a different way, what you call, so we have to give a clubs or groups. In a group itself, group study and group thinking, it should be in a, another way. So outcomes, what is the outcomes? Suppose you give any problem, so they have to solve by that group and give the solution for that. So that is called a project-based clubs or something. And Olympiads and competition, there is also there. Nowadays it is there. Mathematics Olympiad, Science Olympiad, so many things are there. It's also there. And efforts for intervention in rural areas and regional languages to ensure the widespread uh, participation. So particularly rural area students are very weak and they have shy in nature to participate. So we have to promote the students and we have to attract the students. I mean, they welcome the students and give the platform the students of village students, and we have motivate the students. So that is also very important and helps in participation. Next, extensive of technology to encourage the talent and gifted children itself. So, so many gadgets or a computer or a laptops or so many things. Through the technology, we have to get the knowledge of the students through the gadgets itself. And NCRT and NCTE will develop the guidelines for the education and gifted children itself. And apart from regular studies, the online and digital education is also there. In Swayam is one of them, and One Nation, One Digital Platform is also there. From that, we can get the courses and we can use properly itself, study properly. And inclusion and assess. Yes, enhance the educational access to disadvantaged group, including Divang students itself, and blending learning. Emphasis on effective models for blended learning itself. Suppose you find to regular mode of classes, you have to get the uh, learning through the Swayam itself. You have to collect, you have to learn, and you have to pass through the Swayam. Then you can, that credit is transferred to your next step itself. That's also very essential itself. Next, adult education and lifelong learning itself. What it is? Adult education, whether it is those who try to learn in younger age itself, already 50 years or 30 years or 40 years itself. Those are also should be learned. That is adult education itself or continuous education itself. It helps to write his name and write some letters or something, some general working sake, the knowledge, gathering the knowledge itself. So, innovative initiatives integrated with HIS and technology based options, online books, and in adult education curriculum funded for foundational literacy and numeracy, and critical life skills, vocational skills and development, basic education itself. Next, early childhood education is first. Next is initiation by implementation of 1 year and pre-primary schools and 3 months preparatory module for class 1 students, phase 1, and phase 2, expansion of 1 year of primary school thoughts, primary schools and Anganwadis phase 2 itself. The implementation of new curriculum and assessment in 2021-22 ninth class and class 10th 22-23, next 23-24 class 11th 24-25 class 12th and onwards. New board examination pattern for class 12th, new board examination pattern for class 10th itself. Timelines for implementation of NEP. Next, new futures, preparation for schooling and elementary schools level itself. ECCE for all by 2030, National Curriculum Framework for ECCE, achievement 100% gross enrollment ratio and school education by 2030. So they have given the one deadline itself. We have to act according to the laws. And preparatory class, Bal Vatika, 5 to 6 years of old children, and Anganwadis, preschools. And pre-schools preparation module for class 1 elements, National Foundation Literacy and Numeracy Mission set up for Balabhavans itself. Balavadi, Balabhavans, and so on. Next, school infrastructure and resources. Special education zones said SEZ utilize unused capacity of schools for Samjak Chetan Kendras, school complexes, holistic development of the students. Next, inclusivity and assessments and curriculum pedagogical framework itself. Gender Inclusion Fund up to class 12, special provisions for gifted children, adult education, and so on. And assessment for PARAC is a National Assessment Center for Performance Assessment. And exams in grade 3, 5, and 8, in addition to board examination grade 10th and 12th. No question of PUC, only 11th and 12th, etc. The board exams modular, low stakes, based on conceptual knowledge and applications, curriculum and pedagogical framework itself. New curricular and pedagogical framework 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. This is the system now. Next, reduction and curriculum to core concepts and identification and life skills attained by the grade, a part of NCF, and alternative model for school and encouragement of NCF, and ICT integrated one, integration and teaching and learning methodologies, tracking students as well in the learning levels itself, and teachers recruitment and teacher education, role of government departments and body institutions. The minimum qualification degree for the teaching will be 4 years integrated B.Ed degree by 2030. The minimum degree itself of B.Ed, 4 years B.Ed itself, integrated one. Teacher recruitment based TET, NTA, and teaching demonstration, TET mandatory for teaching. Minimum 50 hours in service training per teacher per year. Even already recruited, but 50 years of in-service teaching is required for the students per year. So not students, for a teacher itself. National Professional Standards for Teachers by 2022. Yes, professional standards. According to professional standards, uh, acquired the things from the teachers for to teach the students itself. And IT and data-based productive planning for recruiting for TI, and move multidisciplinary colleges and universities by 2030. So IT and data-based planning is required. Strengthen action for non-performing. Next, mandatory for PhD students do the module on teacher education. Mandatory for every PhD students. That is the main thing itself. Role of government department, bodies and institutions. State Department, Directorate of Education, SCART, and state school standards authorities, they are involved in assessing the candidates, I mean the teachers, and random sampling of the students and continuous online feedback on self-disclosure by schools. Yes, they randomly they have to get the information from the students regarding the teaching, classroom teaching, and everything. The engagement social works, alumni, retired teachers, and volunteers with schools. The announcement of what you call students and alumni meet and getting the some financial assistance from the alumni and help in getting the jobs for the schools students, etc., etc. Those things are also advisable and admitted by the government itself. I think, and at same time, in degree now, 4-year degree. Actually, in 4 years degree, what you call nowadays 3 years degree. In engineering, 4 years. But in new policy, 4 years degree. That is first year itself certification course. Second year is diploma. Third year is degree. Fourth year is what you call fourth year degree itself. Once you complete 4 years honors itself, only 1 year for PG. Suppose you left in a third year itself, you go for 2 years of PG. So for totally 5 years, integrated PG. Integrated PG means if you join for first year itself, if you complete the 5 years, so you will get the certification. If you leave in a first year itself, you will awarded by certificate, just certificate. Second year you will get diploma. Third year degree. Fourth year honors. Fifth year you will get PG. These are the things you should know. The things. Thank you one and all for your patience.
Thank you so much sir, for your wonderful lecture. Participants, if you have any queries, please you can unmute yourself. Talk to sir. The forum is open for discussion.
Dr. Ravikumar, close the PPT and you can open your video.
I hope there is no questions. If there is a questions, okay, no problem. Otherwise, thank you one and all.
Dr. Ravikumar, please stop sharing. You can switch on your video.
Which one?
You can stop
Okay.
sharing
Okay.
and switch on your video.
Yeah.
You can switch on your video.
Sir, on behalf of the principal, staff, HOD, staff, and students of the Department of Biotechnology, we extend your heartfelt gratitude for accepting our invitation and giving such an excellent talk, sir. Thank you for sparing your time behind the busy schedule and giving such an excellent talk. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you one and all. Thank you.
Participants, with the kind consent of the convener, we are winding up with the session 1. Please do join us back for the session 2 using the same link provided to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.